Hello everybody, welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom, this is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for our dearly departed round 12 review. And sometimes this show can be hard work. Obviously we're covering the sides that got promoted from the Championship on my watch. And of course by definition it's a bit of a struggle. This week has the potential to be the greatest dearly departed show in the history of the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Quick bit of admin. It's 10:33 on Sunday morning. I'm so excited by the goings on yesterday that I'm going to film ahead of the Leeds game and then just plug their review in after the fact in the edit. So, potentially, if Leeds can go to Tottenham and win, this is, period, the greatest dearly departed week ever. But we're going to talk about Brentford drawing 3-3 in a crazy game against Newcastle. Debut wins for Steve Gerrard at Aston Villa, Dean Smith at Norwich. And the small matter of Watford beating Manchester United 4-1. So absolutely brilliant. Complete transparency. We'll do the league tables and whatnot. We'll film that after the fact as well when we know what Leeds have done. But very, very exciting. So without further ado, we'll get on and we will talk about all of the games. But let me just say a big thank you to Simon, a Bees fan who is our fan sponsor. Got involved over on Patreon. Simon Hoyle, 25 years as a Brentford fan. Finally, the bus stop in Hounslow are in the Premier League. Thanks, Dad, for taking me in 96 when football was not such a priority. Thank you so much, Simon. You two can get involved and support the show, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Right, I don't quite know where we're going in this intro. If Leeds have won, we're going to Leeds. If Leeds have drawn, we're going to Brentford. But hey, you'll know by the time you're watching this. Okay. Up to the northeast. And it was Newcastle United 3... Brentford 3 in a rather lovely topsy-turvy kind of debut game for Eddie Howe because it's his first game in charge and it certainly looks like his team and his scoreline and his strategy, but he obviously wasn't there due to some COVID problems there for Eddie Howe, so we hope he's okay. But Brentford playing their part in what was a fantastically entertaining spectacle. And just to put the light on Newcastle for a second, if their fans wanted open, attacking, entertaining, and they haven't had it from Steve Bruce or Rafa for the longest time, then they certainly got it, but it does feel a little bit one extreme to the other. And Newcastle are still without a win. Brentford end their run of defeats, although they did lead in this game. Could it have been more for the Bees? So you're going to let me know in the comments. There is your Brentford lineup. We'll go through first. Obviously, Raya is going to be out long term. Fernandez in goal. Roerslev is going to start at right centre back. They've been without Iain now for the longest time, haven't they? So they had been playing. Oh God. And the guy's name is now slipping me. Zanka, there we go, at right centre-back. But he's not around either. So Janssen and Pinnock and Roerslev across the back. Canos and Henry, the wing-backs as ever. Janelt, Norgard. Start for Saman Godos in central midfield. Mbeumo and Tony up top. We say it every week. Brentford, nice and stable. Set in their system with the 3-5-2. Probably would prefer to have Aya and Raya in there as well. But lots of consistency in terms of strategy and lineup. And just slightly more durable than back in those championship days, we think. Speaking of durable, Newcastle weren't durable in this game. And were fairly easy to score past from what I can understand. And it's a very, very attacking lineup, isn't it? Darlow in goal. So back three, Clark, Lascelles, Shah, and Matt Ritchie and Jacob Murphy as wing-backs. They're both wingers. Eddie Howe had Matt Ritchie at Bournemouth, and I've seen Jacob Murphy at Norwich. both started as attacking players. Okay, you can change during your career, but by their kind of nature, that's wingers playing at wing-backs. And if that's a central midfield too, I mean, John Joe Shelby, who's known for kind of hanging about in a deep midfield position and pinging balls about, and Joe Willock as a wide forward. So really a double pivot comprising of a wide forward, a kind of, let's say, swaggery central midfielder, two sort of players that started as wingers, as wing-backs, and then three across the front there, St. Maximin, Wilson and Joe Linton. I don't know if the lady doth protest too much here and Eddie Howe's trying so hard to, you know, be an attacking manager, or whether he, you know, that's what he came up with. But it does seem like that's very, very open, isn't it, for a team that's bottom of the league? And it sort of turned out to go that way, didn't it? Here, if I press the right keyboard, there we go, is the opening goal. Newcastle take the lead on 10. Disappointing one for the Bees. It's a good leap by Jamal Lascelles from the set play by Matt Ritchie. So he's straight in the goal contributions there. But you know the deal, don't you? Corner, set play, you stand up, first contact, win the header. You don't want to be the side conceding from set plays, do you? And Brentford go behind on 10 with Lascelles nodding that one in. However, they immediately go up the other end and equalise on 11 minutes. Ivan Toney, the former Newcastle man. Now, there's a lot to say about this goal. First of all, it's really, really bad goalkeeping by Carl Darlow. The shot pretty much goes right through him. Also, Tony probably thought all his Christmases had come away. Newcastle gets so narrow, and Tony's kind of like pulling off thinking, Christ, I'm in acres here, absolutely acres. What I will say is when the ball comes from Canos to Tony, the first touch is absolutely filthy from Tony, who kind of spins 360, controls the ball, kills it in one, puts into his motion. So for all we can be a bit finicky about the goalkeeping, maybe in the defensive shape, there's a brilliant touch by Tony who drills in. And on 31, Brentford are going to complete the first half turnaround. It's a great goal, this. I really like this goal. And the reason I like it, you can see Rico Henry arriving, the left wing-back on the far post to head in. Sergi Canos has crossed it, the right wing-back, and the ball switched to Canos in the first instance. So Newcastle all come across. Canos then whips it into the far post. Everyone's marked, and then Henry makes that late run. That is how you use your wing-backs, isn't it? Brilliant attacking stuff from Brentford. One side to the other. You can create an overload just by getting that wing-back in the box on the back post, and he nods that one into the back of the net. But this topsy-turvy game is going to go 2-2 before it's even half time. Nice little bit of skill by St. Maximin. I suppose Brentford fans will argue, oh God, don't let him dribble, get a bit tighter. But he's, in terms of dribbling in the Premier League, he's one of the better players, isn't he? He kind of comes in off the left, drills the shot. It falls for Joe Linton, who, to be fair, tucks it in. The much derided Joe Linton at times. Tucks it in nicely with the left foot. And it is 2-2. Substitution for Brentford. Godos out and Onyeka in. And that is Onyeka, isn't it? Taking the shot. I'm sure the chat will correct me. 15, yeah. He gets into the box. It's a bit of a weird one, this. He's trying to shape it into the far corner. It's actually gone down as an own goal by Jamal Lascelles, who you can see is in the background there. So he tries to shape in, takes a deflection, which actually takes it closer to Darlow in the goal. So I'm not entirely sure what happened there. But Onyeka forward, hits the shot, deflected, in it goes. Whether you think the deflection made that much of a difference or not. It's then 3-2 to Brentford. However, not the last goal. And kind of Similar sort of stuff to Rico Henry arriving in diagonally from the left-hand side. It's Ryan Fraser has pinged the cross in. It's good. You can see Jess getting caught under the ball there. I think that's Roslev, isn't it? Jumping. St. Maximin comes in full on the volley with the right foot. Okay, I suppose where it goes into the net. Can you question the keeper slightly? I don't think you can because St. Maximin hits it first time, nice and early, decent power. And that is what beats the keeper. And it's 3-3. Woof. Have a look at the numbers, actually. And, okay, with the possession, it's fairly close, 48-52. But Newcastle, 23 shots and 9 on target. They will score goals. But obviously, Brentford were able, off an XG of 1.19, to stick 3 goals in of their own. And I'll repeat what I said about Newcastle, essentially. One sort of holding midfielder and not much defensive. And it's not like these players can't be coached to do it, but not much defensive players in their actually makeup as how we perceive it, other than the back three, really. And Brentford are able to capitalise. Most of the numbers do go in Newcastle's favour, so I do suspect there's a little bit of a sense in this one of Newcastle, new manager, new system. Will they get better defensively? You would assume so if trends go up like that. They don't always, do they? But so maybe Brentford were there, right place, right time. And then you can always flip the script and say Brentford led 2-1. They led 3-2, didn't they? So there's a chance there that they could have got the win. Big picture for Brentford. It is a drop-off for the Bees after that fantastic start. The losing streak, I guess, is coming to an end is an important thing. But looking back, since that great win away at West Ham, and considering how good West Ham are, what a result that was. Defeat at home to Chelsea, fine. Defeat at home to Leicester. Leicester aren't playing that well at the moment. Then well beaten by Brentford. Defeat at home to Norwich. It's not a great run for the Bees. We'll do the table in the next bit of the show that we record when we actually know what Leeds have or haven't done. But the trend is downwards for Brentford, and just the worry is, where does that stop? And look, I won't say where they are pre the Leeds game, because we can look at the table properly. But in terms of arrows and who's moving up and who's moving down, there is a scenario that sort of around Christmas time, even though the points might look all right, there might not be that many people between Brentford and, say, bottom 4, bottom 5. We'll see how that one pans out. Anyway, welcome back Eddie Howe into the Premier League, and if all the games are going to be that exciting and he's going to let our dearly departed teams bang 3 goals in past them every time, then he's very, very welcome. But let me know your thoughts. Newcastle 3, Brentford 3. Okay, on we go to Aston Villa 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Here's one for you new manager bouncers. In comes Steven Gerrard. It was a 5-game losing streak, and Villa get the win in Gerrard's first game. And I know people tell me off for saying this, but the majority of money that comes in for football is from TV, which is entertainment rather than sport, if you know what I'm saying. And entertainment relies on stars. And in comes Steven Gerrard, and you see a picture of him fist pumping. It's great, isn't it, when you have a big name coming into the dugout, especially in one of our dearly departed teams. As much as we like Dean Smith, but hey, he's moved to another one of our dearly departed teams, so we can still cover Dean Smith. But when it's working and you're winning the first game, having that big name and that star power in the dugout is great for the likes of me talking about it. And there is Stevie Gerrard's first lineup as Villa manager. Nothing incredibly controversial in terms of selection. He's gone to a 4-3-3. We know Dean Smith had flittered and fluctuated and not quite found the formula. Let's see whether Gerrard sticks with this 4-3-3, which I believe was the formation of choice at Glasgow Rangers. Not that I profess to be any kind of expert on Glasgow Rangers. Martinez in goal. Cash, Konza, Mings, Target. That's the back four and keeper that really was the basis for, especially in the first part of last season, Villa's very good Premier League form. Midfield three there, McGinn, Nakamba and Ramsey. I wonder whether Ramsey, youngster, first game under Gerrard and he's in. I know there's no Douglas Luiz there, but lots of energy, lots of industry in there and ahead. I think this is the idea. There's the quality. I'm not saying someone like John McGinn's not got quality, but in terms of getting your goals, Buendia, front right, Ings, centrally, Watkins, front left. Bailey was on the bench, wasn't he? Yes. So again, it's squaring this circle of, you've got Ings, who's a good centre forward, Buendia, who maybe likes to play off the right of a 4-2-3-1, Bailey wide, Watkins has played front left but likes playing down the middle and scored lots of goals. And this is what Gerrard has come up with, a three with Watkins and Buendia coming in from the side. Brighton, reserve keeper in there. Jason Steele getting a rare start in the absence of the suspended Robert Sanchez. Webster, Duffy, Dunk across the back. Lamptey, Cucurella, the wing-backs. Moda, Basuma, Gross, Trossard and Lallana up top. So maybe the absence of a bona fide, proper defined striker up there in terms of Lallana and Trossard. But we know that Brighton like to pass you to death, and that's the, well, when we look at the numbers, 63%, 608 passes they completed. But with their 37% possession on Stevie Gerrard's debut, Aston Villa are gonna get the win. Good goal, this. Really good work from Watkins. And hey, what was I just saying about where do you stick Watkins and Ings and Buendia and Bailey? Well, Watkins inside left. This is what he can do from the inside left position. Ashley Young, we're deep into the second half. In fact, we're in the 84th minute here. Ashley Young has come off the bench to replace Buendia. Ings is out and Bailey's in now. So maybe I need to correct myself. I think Watkins may well be down the middle at this point. But he does indeed pick it up in that inside left position from Young's pass on the counter. And he just drives and run forward, play forward, as Joe Royle used to say, the old Ipswich manager and Oldham manager. And he comes in off the left, works the defence inside. And look at the position he's managed to get the Brighton defence in. He's got them all at sea there. He can either slide that across, I think that's Bailey, over on the right-hand side. But the keeper's not saving that. No one's getting a block on that. They're all kind of in a row. And Watkins just drills the ball right-footed into the far corner. Great work from the England striker for 1-0. And an England player who's finishing like an England striker here. It's a great finish. The ball, who is that? It's Webster, isn't it? Has it come straight off him? I think he's cleared it out. And Mings on the right foot as well. I mean, it's pure instinct, isn't it? The ball's coming at him and he just drills it. Really difficult finish. I suppose he has no time to think about it. Just get a good contact and aim it in the direction of the goal. And it flies in. And let's be quite honest. Tyrone Mings is one of these players, and this just happens with certain players, who it becomes a thing to criticise that player. And they become a lightning rod for criticism. And Mings, big smile. No fingers in the ears from Mings. We're going to talk about Harry Maguire in a bit. And he sticks the ball in the back of the net, and hopefully Mings, who maybe rightly hasn't been in the excellent high standards that he has set at times during his career, but hopefully he can get back into form after the group think in the football sphere is that everyone has to pile in on poor old Tyrone Mings. And yes, I know I'm an Ipswich supporter and I do like him very much, but a lot of it, particularly when I was covering the Euros, was just, I don't know where it was coming from, just very, very unfair at times. But there we go. This is not a rant about me standing up and apologising for Tyrone Mings. We talk about Aston Villa. So the 5-game losing streak is spun in the first game there for Stevie Gerrard. And you have to say, looking at all of that Brighton possession and 608 passes made, they only created 0.53 XG, one big chance. So I suppose Villa will not be too unhappy with that, and having kept the clean sheet and won the game, frankly, who cares? Only one big chance created for Villa, but when you actually look, 5 shots on target to 2, 9 shots to 6, etc. In terms of penalty boxes, and we often talk about this when we're going eye test against stats against an actual final score, I think Gerrard will be perfectly happy. And a lot of football is about timing, isn't it? And if you come good in the last 5 minutes of the game and bang 2 goals in, you win. And I suppose Gerrard will take credit for the subs and Young getting the assist for that first goal that did break the deadlock. So on another day, I don't know, to Brighton convert that possession. Do you know what? There has been a sense around Brighton, though, that the balance isn't quite right in terms of possession versus chance creation, and maybe they've got one other level to go up. It would be a very good side if they do that. But Villa get the win on Gerrard's debut. And I suppose it's a great way to start, isn't it? If you're looking to find what the formula is and move forward, you go from a clean sheet, a win, don't change the win inside, and then move forward on from there. So, great start for Gerrard. Looks like, other than that pass number and possession number, which, you know, does it matter that much when the score is 2-0? Probably not. A pretty decent performance by Villa if you take the numbers in isolation, which, of course, is never the only thing you should do, which is why I would say get your thoughts in the comments on how Villa did in this one on Stevie Gerrard's debut, hey? You love to see it if you're covering Aston Villa like I do. Brilliant. Brilliant stuff. Villa 2, Brighton 0. Thoughts in the comments. Wow. On we go. Watford 4, Manchester United 1. Watford are good fun under Ranieri, aren't they, for goodness sake? 5-0 against Liverpool. I was at that game. Beat Everton 5-2. And now they're going to beat Manchester. I know other games in the interceding period. They're going to beat Manchester United 4-1. And look, lots and lots and lots, and probably too much, and we're all fed up of it, talk about Solskjaer, the Manchester United manager. But we'll obviously come at this from a Watford perspective and say that Ranieri and the Hornets were there and ready to take advantage of a team that just don't appear to be, I don't want to say don't, they're pros, aren't they? Appear to be playing for the manager. Let me phrase it a different way. A set of players who kind of know that there's probably a change coming, and it's all a little bit flaky and non-committal in terms of what's going on at Manchester United. But fair dues to Watford, who, coming off the back of 2 1-0 defeats against Southampton and Arsenal, go in there and get the win. 4-1. Classic Ranieri as well. And we talk about the counter-attacking stylings and 2 late goals. Okay, pads the score out, but 4-1 is 4-1, isn't it? Let's throw that up. Sorry, excuse me. There are your sides. So Watford continue with Ben Foster in goal. Backman can't get the shirt back. Firmino, Cathcart, and Kulu and Messina across the back. It's been sort of, I think it's probably been a different back 4 in every game under Ranieri, hasn't it? Ekong does come in as a sub in this one. I don't know if I'm right or wrong about that, but it seems he's trying different bits and bobs. Remember the 2 left backs and Rose and Messina having a go at Salah. So he's trying to find the springboard. I don't know what's happened to Sierralta. I don't know if he's fit or not. He was so good in the Championship last season. A central midfield sort of trio there of Louza, cleverly former United player, obviously, and Sissoko. Sarr and Dennis wide. King up top. And Ranieri, maybe more so in England than his time in Italy, is known as the master of counter-attacking. You can see he's got that set up with Sarr, Dennis and King ready to go. And it worked. It very, very much worked. But, oh, Manchester United, dearie me. And Look at the quality of these players I'm about to read out. Why are they so bad? De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, McTominay, Matic gets the start. It's often Fred in there. Sancho, Fernandes, Rashford, and Ronaldo. And again, I don't want to pile it on poor old Solskjaer, who seems a great guy, but some other managers would kill for those players, wouldn't they? Deary, deary me. All fun and games straight away in this one. And it's around the 9th minute, but goes on to about the 11th or 12th minute, given all the stops and starts. It's a horrible shank up in the air, I think, from Bruno Fernandes in the first instance. Player of that quality doing something like that doesn't bode well, does it? 9 minutes into the game. McTominay takes down King. I'm not entirely sure what discussion was had about a red card for this one. McTominay does not even get booked, actually. Whether they think it's a accidental collision or not. The laws say a denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, and even in the penalty box, you're looking for a deliberate attempt to play the ball. Well, it doesn't matter because Watford are going to win 4-1, but I wonder whether the VAR did look at a possible denial of obvious goal-scoring opportunity and a red card. Again, moot point, but there we go. Maybe I'm being too pro-Watford. Here. Now, Sarr hits the penalty. De Gea saves it. This is the VAR output. You can see Firmino is encroaching. Looks like, is his feet in the box? One of the Man United players right at the back there. Is it Wan-Bissaka? Possibly is as well. Yeah, doesn't matter anyway. De Gea saves it. Firmino, decent finish. He puts the follow-up in, but rightly, the VAR pulls it back. He's very noticeably encroaching as well. Sarr has another go. It's not a good penalty, actually. Saw Harry Kane do a brilliant one of these for England where he sprints up like he's going to hammer it in one of the corners and just lifts it down the middle. Sarr, don't know if he's trying that. He's not got enough height or enough pace. It's not a good penalty by Ismaila Sarr. And De Gea makes the save. What was it? There was a run where De Gea didn't save a penalty in 2 years or something. There you go. Two in the space of 2 minutes there. If you obviously... one of them, essentially, according to the statistics, didn't happen because of the encroachment. But you know what I'm saying. Watford then do take the lead. And the defending is so bad here. I think the ball goes across to the back post. And Wan-Bissaka is sort of on the cover. And you're like, either head this out for a corner, or if you're going to head it back that way, you've got to get your neck muscles on it, get it clear. And he does the worst thing. Probably just kind of heads it up in the air. And Dennis is probably like, okay, result. He then brings it down and is able to knock it in towards Josh King. And you can see really good balance and technique from King there. Sort your feet out. Just re-angle the ball into the far corner. And King, who of course another former Manchester United player as well as cleverly, just angles that into the goal. And Watford take the lead on 28 minutes. And we were talking in the Villa game about timing. How's your timing here? Minute 44. And Sarr maybe makes up a little bit for the penalty miss. And look, that's telling. Look at De Gea. He's just arcing his neck round. I think it's Maguire who's gone into close down. His positioning's not great. And Sarr, when he's like this, is one of the most direct players you'll ever see. And that's what's so good about him. And I think the thing in the head of all Watford fans, and a neutral like me watching Sarr, where you think, can he do it game by game? Because if he does, he's essentially going to become international world class if he can be the kind of guy that, you know what he does when he gets it? If he's got any space, just out of his feet, straight at goal. If he goes into the box, shoots or crosses, it's so simple. But because of his searing speed and acceleration, you can't really stop it. You can mark him, but unless your fullback can run with him or is very good tactically, it's very, very difficult to stop. And yes, a player that can do that every single game, and this is the thing historically about wingers being inconsistent, is just worth an astronomical fee. But we do find with Sarr that winger inconsistency. He's at it here. And look at that, just drills it into the far corner. 2-0, and Sarr makes up for the double penalty miss. Into the second half, and it's a great bit of quality from Cristiano Ronaldo. I know, kind of rightly, he has the air of a very... I use the word selfish in inverted commas because he's obviously got the quality to back up shooting every time. But great players like Ronaldo know when there's a player in a better position, and just beautifully in the air cushions the header back across to give Van der Beek a very, very easy open goal. By the way, double sub again. Martial and Van der Beek in for McTominay and Rashford. And it feels very like Solskjaer continually picks the wrong team or the wrong strategy and then has this star-studded bench and throws a couple of players on. And it nearly works because it goes back to 2-1. And then the great Cristiano Ronaldo in on goal. And I think he's trying to lift it over Foster. And he slips as he hit it. And Foster makes a save. It could have gone 2-2 there. And we could be talking very differently. But it's time to talk about poor old Harry Maguire again. Who is red carded here. This is a second yellow in 7 minutes, actually. And it's so poor, it's not true. Now, look, I don't want to be those guys. You know, it's not my style to, you know, hammer a football player. I admire these guys. They're role models for me. And, you know, I talk about footballers every day. So I'm not going to go in disgraceful and all of that. But I did tweet after the fingers in the ears. It's a bit passive-aggressive. It's a bit antagonistic. I think, put it this way, I've worked in schools before. We teach children, young children, not to kind of poke the bear, rise above it. If you think someone's criticising you and it's unfair or whatever, just, you know, be the bigger person sometimes. Take the high road. Take the moral. You stick your fingers in your ears and... No. And it's all a little bit, what happens if you make a rubbish mistake in the next game and get red carded? It all becomes a little bit tit for tat, juvenile, ping pong criticism game. And this is what I was saying when he did stick his fingers in his ears, Maguire. Horrible touch. Cleverly is very clever, if you'll excuse the pun. Just knocks it ahead and Maguire dives. It's rubbish defense. Really bad. It really, really is bad. And this is an England fan, and I love Maguire in the summer, and I wanted him fit, and I wanted him on the left side of that centre-half partnership, and yeah, he's not covering himself in glory at the moment. Poor guy is obviously just needs a bit of guidance above him. Maybe there is that vacuum of power in terms of a strong managerial figure. Hey, he might be getting Zidane coming soon, we think. But yeah, rubbish from Maguire, so bad. And there's the red card, and that turns the game, doesn't it? 10 versus 11. And here comes the Ranieri counter-attacking masterclass here. They stay in it until stoppage time. And here comes João Pedro. This isn't great by De Gea. I think we're in two things can be true category here. It's good from João Pedro. We said how Sarr was direct. Run forward, play forward, hit the shot. Does go through De Gea, who looks like he's got his angles pretty sorted there, but must go through his legs or under his arm or something like that. Not great. And Ben Foster's going to get an assist, speaking of counter-attack. And look, it's the same goal, isn't it? And the United players are shot there. Look at them jogging back in the picture there. They're done. They know the manager's probably done. They know the game is done. And Watford piling in. United are down on their backside. Keep the punches raining in and add some goal difference on that they lost in that first game against Liverpool under Ranieri. So with my dearly departed hat on, wow, sensational for Watford. Brilliant, brilliant win. You sort of had this game pegged as one of the ones that Solskjaer would win. Probably from behind at half-time with some double sub. Could have gone that way, but it did not, did it? And Watford get the victory. But look at those numbers, look. And again, forgive me, I don't know how much the game state after the red card at 69 changed it and whether a lot of those shots came as it got stretched on the counter. But 20 shots to 9, 7 shots to 3, 8 corners to 3, all in Watford's favour despite the possession heavily in United's favour. But I will say, look, 3 big chances a piece. Now, obviously, one of the Watford big chances was the penalty as well. So open play, and we got the XG number down there. Not bad. But then when you look at the actual XG, 2.89 to 1.31. So it's very, very easy to get suckered into a Solskjaer, Manchester United bad. And yes, of course, all of those things are true. But if you're Watford and if you're likely to be in a bottom 6 position where it's get points in games where you can, take advantage of managers struggling, take advantage of timing, red card, win the game. And they did. So very, very pleased for all my Watford subscribers and friends. Obviously, the big story will become Manchester United, but not here on Dearly Departed. Excellent stuff for Watford. Again, we'll look at the table after we've done the Leeds game and add that in. But 13 points from 12 games. We looked when Ranieri came in, didn't we, and said he's got a gnarly first 5 games. If he can be anywhere near a point per game, brilliant, brilliant stuff. And by God, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, 6 points. Watford will stay up if Ranieri is over a point per game. They'll stay up comfortably. In fact, I would be my estimation, unless we get some kind of weird surge where Norwich, Newcastle, Burton, everyone starts winning and the total's 38, 39 points as opposed to it's normally mid-30s, isn't it? So, good stuff for Watford. Again, maybe I've just convinced myself there might be a high tide at the bottom this season and someone might go down with a high number. But timing, take advantage of your situation, and Watford did that. More power to them. Watford 4, Manchester United 1. Okay, it's Monday morning. You can probably see because I've been up since whatever o'clock and I've changed my jumper and I still haven't sorted my hair out. But sadly, we did not get our clean sweep. I'm not going to let it get my spirits down. But unfortunately, it was Spurs 2, Leeds 1 over at the new Spurs Stadium. Frustrating one for the Leeds fans. A lot of injured, missing players, and one of those games of 2 halves where it looked like they were doing what they could as they got into half-time. 1-0 up Leeds, but a bit of a surge, and Antonio Conte, you have to give him some credit there for changing things up in the second half. And whether you think it was showmanship or not, certainly amping the crowd up towards the end of the game as well and making that story about the Spurs fans being behind the team as they went on to win this one 2-1 against Leeds. As I mentioned, so no, Ailing and Bamford have been out for a while. I think Firpo was back on the bench, wasn't he? Yes, he was, but still no. Koch, I don't believe Shackleton was there in the squad either. And then the really big one, no Rafinha, who's been in Bamford's absence, really the sort of key goal guy, hasn't he? And no Rodrigo either. So I know a lot of Leeds fans talk to me about this, and it's the small squad and the nature of keeping it tight, and that then parlayed into the stresses put on the players' bodies, not just in with this boring narrative about Bielsa and overtraining and all of that, but just in general terms at Premier League level. When you do get this spate of injuries, it is hard to mitigate them. So Leeds line up, Meslier in goal. Across the back there, SofaScore has got Calvin Phillips in a centre-half spot there between Liam Cooper and Diego Llorente. As always with these Bielsa formations, remember SofaScore just picks up the GPS on the shirt, so don't get too emotional about them. Let me know if you think the team shape was different, but we're just getting the 11. Strauick in an advanced position, possibly. It certainly was for the goal, actually, wasn't he? Dallas the other side, and Forshaw continues in central midfield, which is good news. Click a little bit advanced, 8, 10. Bielsa doesn't really play a 10, does he? You know what I mean? Harrison left and James right. Look up top, for goodness sake. Joe Gerhardt, who is obviously highly rated. Saw him in the Championship for Wigan sort of breakthrough, but leading the line in the Premier League away at Spurs. Big game for young Joe Gerhardt there. For Spurs, Conte with his 3 at the back there. Lloris in goal. Tanganga, Dyer, Davies, Reguilon and Royale. Højbjerg and Winks. Son, Mora. And England's goal machine. I think he got like 7 goals in 2 games, didn't he? Harry Kane. He's not going to score against Leeds. And no Spurs player is going to score against Leeds in the first half of this one, because Leeds are going in at half-time 1-0. And I think this is probably part of the frustration today for Leeds fans after this one, because it was a thoroughly decent first half. And on minute 44, just before half-time, we said Emerson Royale. Emerson Royale gets royally done by a brilliant assist by Jack Harrison. I know Leeds haven't won the game, but a highly gifable moment for Mr. Harrison. Drag back heel, nutmeg through the legs, into the box, stick it across for Dan James arriving from the other side. And lovely goal. Really good work by Jack Harrison for that one. Leeds lead at half-time. And I'm going to glance over here because my laptop tells me first half stats isolated. Leeds 60% possession, 6 shots to 2, 2 on target to 0, 1 big chance to 0, 312 passes to 200. So Leeds good value for their lead at half-time. But, I mean, then you tell me, is it just tactically, or is it the fact that Leeds just haven't got the squad at the moment, have they? And Spurs were able to overpower them in the second half. Here is the equalising goal. I'll be interested to see people's thoughts on Meslier on this one. I'm not entirely sure whether the defenders had it covered, but Meslier goes out with Lucas Moura, which you can see at this point. He's then out of the game when the ball comes back to Højbjerg. He's pretty much an empty net if he can shoot it through the players. With hindsight, hindsight's 2020, does Meslier stay, guard his near post, let his defenders do the business there? Hindsight 2020 probably does, doesn't he? But it's good from Moura, and Højbjerg, he just got to direct that and keep that down and in the gap. And that is 1-1 on 58. And then just a really irritating goal, even without my dearly departed hat on. This one's unlucky, isn't it? Free kick right on the edge of the box. I think it's Stroik in the wall. He does his best. He gets a little flick on it. Unfortunately, he'd have been better off leaving it because I think it's going down Mellier's throat, certainly his side of the goal. The ball then deflects, hits the post. Fair play to Reguilon, who's on the run, and he's kind of with Forshaw, and I don't think Forshaw sees the deflection, and Reguilon does. Reguilon arcs his run, the ball hits the post, and it's a tap-in. It's just one of those goals, isn't it? When you get a free kick in so close, it can just be chaotic, can't it? And Spurs really tapped into that chaos. To be fair to Spurs in the second half, as we read the first half stats, although, I mean, look, big chance-wise, and we'll bring the XG and the shot map up, big chance-wise, Spurs do have the second half, but again, Leeds, 52-48 on the possession, 12 shots to 11 to Leeds in the second half, 5 shots to 4 to Leeds in the second half, 6 corners to 2, and this one, out of nowhere, really, 4 big chances to Spurs. So I'm not entirely sure how that happened. They had 4 shots in the second half that all turned out to be big chances, or 4 shots on target, rather. That's a misnomer. They had 4 shots on target and 4 big chances. Not the same thing, is it? But you know what I'm saying, don't you? That in the penalty box, Spurs just managed to do it in the second half. Firpo came in for Leeds. Roberts did. Stuart McKinstry as well. So disrespect these young players at all, but down to putting a lot of young players. And look at this bench. Look, Cody Drammer, Charlie Cresswell, Liam McCarran, Stuart McKinstry, Jack Jenkins, Sam Greenwood. So very, very, very stretched in terms of injuries. Have I done enough apologising for Leeds going away to Spurs, leading at half-time, and really with the bare bones going under in the second half? When you put it that way, you know, you can draw some positives from Leeds. And again, look, we know all with Bielsa, every player knows the system. Every player knows probably every other part of the system as well, don't they? So the players that do come in know what they're doing, but maybe just across that 11, especially consider Spurs' reach and squad, etc. Maybe they just didn't have the quality in reserve to get the job done here in the second half and went under 2-1. And again, as we said, that XG does pop up there in the second half. You can see some big white blobs there, which are decent chances for Spurs. Worrying for Leeds, though, and I'm being positive as I can about this game. I just had a look back. They've only beaten Watford and Norwich this season, who obviously were 1 and 2 in the Championship. So parlaying into Leeds' lack of wins this season, they haven't beaten a team that was in the Premier League last season all year. So still not quite clicking for Leeds. Am I being too positive in putting it all down to the absent players and saying that first half job done and then just got overpowered? I don't know. You tell me. But big picture, and we'll look at the table in a little bit, Leeds still, and I've said it for weeks and weeks now, Leeds still haven't quite got going yet. And we're all sitting here anticipating a trend up. When's it coming, Mr. Bielsa? Let me know what you think in the comments on all of that. Spurs 2, Leeds 1. Okay, and it's another big story for us in the dearly departed here. And on Dean Smith's debut, Norwich 2, Southampton 1, back-to-back wins for Norwich. They jumped from 2 points to 8 points in the course of 2 games. And for you new manager bouncers, I don't know what you say here. Is it a new manager bounce? Because Farker won the last game, didn't he? I don't know, hey? I don't know. It's 8 points per game's good for Dean Smith. Currently sitting at 3. It won't stay like that, of course. But what a great start for Smith. Well, it wasn't actually, because they went behind on 4 minutes. But get the win. Win the game. And look, I know I make fun of the new manager bounce and mock it ceaselessly, but I do think there was some kind of feel-good and something in the air at Norwich. And when you look at the numbers, they've just gone in there, got the job done. And I do think psychology has probably played a part in this, which when we're talking about new manager bounce and regression to the mean with the same players looking like they're a bit more at it, psychology is the biggest thing. They're the same players, for God's sake. That's what irks me so much about this new manager bounce business. But well played, Dean Smith and Norwich. Haven't mentioned that they beat Southampton, the opponents here. Here is Dean Smith's first team for the Canaries. Krill in goal. Aarons, Hanley and Gibson returned together as a partnership. I believe Hanley was out injured. Williams is the choice at left back. I don't know. Is that settled now? Is he the left back? I know Janulis has started a few games, hasn't he? In the midfield, McLean, Norman, and the much hyped, oft talked about Billy Gilmore makes a start. But look there, front left, woof. Todd Cantwell back in the team for Norwich. We think there'd been a fallout. I think we know there'd been a fallout, and perhaps this confirms it. Cantwell in, and I was saying as much. Just get him back in. Clean slate. Start over. Doesn't matter what's happened before. New manager. Good player, Cantwell. Get him back in there. Go on. And he starts, and Norwich get the win. Pookie and Rasica are the other members of the front three. For the Saints, McCarthy in goal. Bit of a mixed day for him, I have to say. Livramento, Bednarek, Salisu, Walker-Peters. Across the midfield, Diallo, Ward-Prowse, Romeo, Elianusi, Adams and Armstrong up top. And I covered a game at Norwich, between Norwich and Birmingham. I think Norwich won 3-1 possibly. And Che Adams scored at this end of the stadium. And they know all about him, that Barclays stand at Norwich. And he scores in front of them again here. It's really good from Adams. It's tenacious. Bit of a sense that, I mean, look, the Norwich centre-halves there are all drawn to the ball. And Adams knows if he can just be the first one there, get it out of his feet, just get anything on it and direct it goalwards. He does better than that. It's actually a really nice finish into the far corner. You can see Coyle's positioning looks fine to me there. But Adams, we know, call him a one-trick pony in the Championship. The master of the early shot into the corner. And they always seem to go in, don't they? So Adams gives Saints the lead on just 4 minutes. But here comes the equaliser from Teemu Pukki. And you can't quite see. Can you see him there? A blurry Max Aarons laid on his back off the pitch, having crossed that ball in for Pukki. Somebody goes down in the build-up to this one. I can't remember quite who it was. And it's good from Rasica and Aarons. The foul doesn't get given. Saints player out of the game. Take advantage. That's what Norwich do. Rasica and Aarons, who was always a standout player for Norwich under Farker when Norwich were winning. Good to see him up and getting an assist here. Bit of a unorthodox assist for Max Aarons. We're so used to him, you know, being in the box and cutting things back or sliding things through, dovetailing with Buendia over the years. But it's an old school fullback down the line, cross into the box. And we are very much in two things can be true category here. Because we're going to praise Pukki, but we've got to criticise McCarthy a little bit here. It's good from Pukki across the near post, and he can put it in one place as powerfully as he can, as close inside the near post as he can. So Pukki does all he can, and then you've got to hope that you catch the keeper out, and McCarthy does get caught out here. As I say, it is good from Pukki, but he kind of sort of palms it into the net, and I think in goalkeeping debrief on Monday, they'll talk about that one. But again, it's good from Norwich. Quick counter. And again, Pukki does all he can. There's one place he can put that. And he gets the equal. He doesn't score too many headers, does he, Pukki? I can remember one or two others, possibly. One against Stoke. Testing my memory here of my dearly departed teams. Here is the winning goal, which comes in the second half. Hanley heads in Gilmore's corner there. And again, sorry to pile in on poor McCarthy, the keeper. But this goes right through his hands, doesn't it? It's good from Hanley. Look at that. Good climb. Gets decent enough power on the header. Good direction into the ground. The keeper's got to save it, hasn't he? But Norwich fans will not care in the slightest. And use that psychology. New manager bounce, whatever you call it. New broom. A new day, whatever, get over the line and get a win. And that's exactly what they did. So look, more power to Norwich. And, you know, I don't want to pile in on McCarthy, but he probably on both goals will be very disappointed that he doesn't make the save. That is all elementary, my dear Watson. And my dear Dean Smith gets a win on the opening day. So pleased for Dean Smith. I really, you know, disrespect, you know, underwhelming, blah, blah, unambitious. Stop it. Stop it. I like Dean Smith very, very much, and I'm very pleased for him to get the win on his debut. However, it's not a very viable set of numbers, is it? Norwich only 0.53 on the XG, and if we're being finicky, we can pick on McCarthy, the Saints keeper, a little bit on both the goals. And then you go down, 17 shots to 8 to Saints, 5 shots to 4 on target, 7 corners to 5, 8 shots inside the box to 5. No real big chances going down for either team. The XG's not high. It feels very, very much, and please don't, I don't feel like I'm patronising Norwich or Dean Smith. It feels like the moment and everything, they've taken advantage and won the game, which is fantastic. But Norwich fans are going to say, great, awesome, brilliant start, back-to-back wins, who cares? Going forward, maybe they can build on that confidence and things can be a little bit more viable than... I'm not saying that it's coming out all wrong, but you know what I'm saying? You know, that feel-good factor, you know, that lasts so many games with the new coach and the new regime and all of that stuff. And other games like this, if the numbers and the game state are like that, Norwich won't get wins, I do think. But we're talking about timing and Watford and Steven Gerrard and all of that. Take advantage of your timing short term. And look, to be completely fair to Dean Smith, when did he go in? It's like I had a couple of days. So look, it is all at the moment, you know, just the idea of it's a new era. And of course, it's not fair for someone like me to sit here and judge Dean Smith, who I like very much, on the numbers after a few days. That will come and, you know, judge him in 10, 15 games. In the short term, Norwich fans will not care in the slightest. And we say this all the time, don't we? Down at the bottom, it's snail racing at the bottom of the table. Points are not scored fast. At the moment, Newcastle 0.5 points per game. That's 3 points every 6 games for a win. Norwich are less than a point per game. They're 0.75 points. We're 8 from 12. If I've added that up right, I don't think I have I? It's two-thirds rather. And Burnley are on 9 from 12. If you win 2 games in a row when everyone is scoring at way less than 1 point per game, that has such an impact. And Norwich jumping all the way up. And again, as I film this, I don't know what Leeds have done to within 3 points from Leeds. So I'm very, very pleased for Dean Smith. I think judgment comes down the line, but Cantwell back in and Gilmour into a midfield 3. It's a good start, and let's see if Smith and Norwich can build on it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on, and that will be the last game. And as I say this, I don't know what Leeds have done, but you do. Hopefully, a fantastic week for the dearly departed. Get your comments in. Norwich 2, Saints 1. So, our 2-day epic recording session is over. Remember, this is my Monday jumper, so I mustn't get too down having just talked about the Leeds result. I was, of course, very, very excited by a couple of new manager wins and a thrashing of Manchester United as well for Watford. Big high-scoring draw for Brentford. This is how the table looks. Yes, okay. We are currently, with the dearly departed, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th and 19th. And I will repeat, as much as this may not please Leeds and Villa fans or Norwich fans, who are the only one there in the bottom 3, I'll take it. 4 teams survive. And remember, I had 3 relegated last season. So maybe we could get another dearly departed team in the building for next season. But... so Brentford end the losing streak. You can see they're in 14th position on 13 points. Still just over that point per game mark. However, the trend is downwards for the Bees. And you do wonder what's going to trend upwards beneath them. Possibly Aston Villa under Stevie Gerrard might move up a place, 2, 3, who knows. They are tied up on 13 points, just 1 off on the goal difference. So, Watford, exactly the same record for Watford and Aston Villa. The old alphabetical order they're doing for Watford, putting them a place below Villa. Again, I would say the same thing. Watford, we said in the Manchester United piece, the fact that Ranieri has maintained the record of having over a point per game, given their tricky run, is good. But, again, you do wonder where the trends up, down and along are going ultimately towards Christmas in terms of Watford, with only, 1 team worth of headroom between them and the relegation zone. And that is Leeds, who, yeah, I don't know how many times I can say it, just can't get going yet, can they? And as I said in the Leeds piece, only wins this year over Norwich and Watford, who are promoted championship sides. Look, they need Bamford back in, they need Iain in, they need Rafinha back, they need Rodrigo fit. They just need to get the first team out on the pitch. There was some sense of it starting to trend back after that Leicester game, but I think given the absences, we're feeling it a little bit this week for our Leeds friends. And Norwich really couldn't be probably much happier given the last two games, given where they were, obviously, in that context. Look, they're still in the bottom three, of course. They're 3 points adrift there, but back-to-back wins make such a huge difference down there. And look, I mean, Newcastle still haven't won a game, and Burnley have only won one. Norwich have won the same amount of games now as Leeds have, and you just got to hope for the Norwich fans' sakes that it wasn't a goodbye and then a new manager bounce, and that they can build this, and we're not going to look in 15 games' time and the points per game is like that big surge there and then back down it comes. Can they now build on it? Remember, little back-to-back wins is fantastic, but if you're a Norwich fan, you almost want it to be more consistent. That's how you viably stay up, isn't it? It's not a little streak of wins at some point in the season, but normally it's you pick up a draw, you might lose a couple. Pick up a win, you might lose one. Pick up a draw, pick up a draw, pick up... Do you know what I mean? A nice, slower, steady. I think that's the viable way to stay up. So that's what Norwich will, or Norwich fans will hope they'll be working towards. But above them, outside the relegation zone, as I said, a big crowd of four dearly departed teams with good old Burnley, who always seem to manage to find their way out in between. There we go. That is possibly... it might not get any better than this season. A 3-3 draw for Brentford. A fantastic win for Watford against Manchester United. And debut wins for Stevie Gerrard and Dean Smith into the bargain. Leeds nearly did it for us, didn't they? Up at half-time, but couldn't quite hold on with that weakened 11 due to the injuries in the main. But a great week on the Dearly Departed. If you're new around here, please hit the subscribe button. And thank you again to Simon, who is our fan sponsor, Simon Hoyle. You too can get involved over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. We will be back next week for more Dearly Departed action. Thank you for watching. Get your thoughts in via the comments. And it's a lovely big over and out. And more of the same, please, Dearly Departed. 3 wins and a draw is a rarity around here. So, yeah, let's hope we get more of that going forward. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.